So, this is Sister Kate. Got roosters crowing in the background. Got trash burning in the background. And we had a sister mention something about the toilet paper in our outhouse, and we were like, yeah, there's a bin in there. There's a bin full of toilet paper. You see all the rolls. Well, what she didn't mention, but I found out today, is that we had a guest living in there. And that guest, I'll show you a picture of one of the things that got on the wall in here. That guest was a mouse. And when you live off-grid, when you live in trailers and even houses that are not completely like modern and sealed off hermetically, rodents twice a year look for places to go. They look for shelter and sources of food because they're going to have babies. And so in the fall and in the spring, I mean spring you would think they'd be out, but because they're going to have babies, they look for sheltered places. They go indoors. They climb up trailer walls and in wheel wells and under the walls of the outhouse or through the door if it's not closed all the way, and they look for things like toilet paper and material, and they shred it and they make a nest and, you know, want a food source to feed their babies. And so that's when they're a problem, and that's what happened here today. So I'm busy like tearing off all the shredded paper. The mouse shredded every single roll in there. I don't know why. I don't know why she didn't just take one and use it. She shredded every single one. And then I will dump that out and then replace all the paper, and we'll make sure the lid was on nice and tight, because the lid for the toilet paper was not on nice and tight, and the mouse had easy access to go in and out. So it's just something that's out there for your planning and getting out of Babylon plans. Keep in mind mouse traps. They were created and they're still around for a reason, and they work well when you use them right. All right, shalom. So one more thing about rodents that I was thinking about. I did say, you know, when you are thinking about bugging out, bring your mouse traps and stuff. I didn't say poison, because thing is, poison is really good smelling for dogs, and if your dog eats it, then you have to like give them a course of vitamin K or they're gonna die, and you have to give it to them over a month to keep it out, the poison from overwhelming like their kidneys. And also little kids might see it. It's this bright green color. It looks kind of like a lime candy. And if they ate it, that would be, you know, awful result. So yes, a mouse trap would, you know, pinch a kid's finger, but wouldn't kill him. So that's a consideration. Also, there are bigger rodents than just mice. There are pack rats, and they're in our state, and they were in the state north of us. And they do an enormous amount of damage, and a little mouse trap won't work on a pack rat. You saw the one that I did in my have a heart trap. I would recommend a have a heart trap. We got a twofer, so there was a bigger one that'll fit like a raccoon, and then the smaller one that caught that pack rat. I highly encourage you to add them to your preps. Also, rodents are going to affect your food preps. You want to think about what you're keeping your food in. Mylar bags are very convenient. We use a lot of plastic bags and plastic containers for short-term storage. Mice will go right through them. No deterrent whatsoever. And also your long-term storage, like your trash cans. Mouse will eat through a plastic trash can and a plastic bin. So there's sort of protection, but a deterrent rodent will get in those things. So galvanized steel trash pans, they can't get in if it's the integrity of the trash can is kept intact. Like if there's no holes in it, doesn't rust on the bottom, the lid fits tightly, that'll keep them out. And also, I just thought of it, but those glass jars that you use for canning with the metal lid, perfect. perfect. No way is any rodent going to get into one of those. So keep that into consideration when you're thinking about bringing your year's worth of food out into the country and storing it like in a warehouse or in a basement or a root cellar or a shed or wherever you're going to put it. You want it in things that mice cannot tear up, break into, and you want to think about keeping the pack rats away from it too, because a pack rat will carry a container like the size of a herring can, you know, canned sardines. Pack rat can carry that. They may not be able to carry a full can of green beans, 14 ounce, but they certainly can carry things smaller, especially if they can get a hole big enough to take stuff through it. So, considerations for you for coming out here, but also where you are. Telltale sign of mice is droppings, of course, or things chewed on, like in the outhouse, the paper rolls chewed on. Mice like to run along the baseboards of buildings, so that's where you put the traps. You don't stick them out in the middle of the room, they won't be going out there. And you also have to vary your what you're baiting them with, because some mice love ramen noodles. Some mice like oatmeal. Some mice like peanut butter and jelly. And some mice have a sweet tooth and want things like instant icing or chocolate. So if you've baited with something like, let's just say you put a whole kernel of corn there and nothing happens, try something else. Try any of the 5 things I just talked about, because mice have their particular taste too. Same with pack rats. The pack rat we've caught here before loved dog food. So I would bait the trap with dog food and it would take the entire trap with it. What finally worked on that guy was poison. But pack rats have their taste too. So if dog food doesn't work for you, you know, try something sweet. Then try something salty. Or grainy, like ramen. Alright, hope this helps y'all. Bless you. Just a quick addendum to the video starting about the mice. I said bring mouse traps on your bug out trip, but that's not what I meant. I meant if you move into the country or if you're storing things. And another thing I said was for storing food long term, galvanized steel trash cans is a good idea. I had completely spaced the 5-gallon buckets. My husband has done videos on a 5-gallon bucket that he left full of grain on our property for like 5 years, and then opened it up later and it was fine. I have not experienced whether mice will eat through a 5-gallon bucket, and if you vacuum seal it and it's got Mylar bags in it, I imagine they don't really have any reason to, because can't smell anything, and so they won't break into it. So that is a really, really good way to long-term store food. And if you go to Viking Preparedness channel, there are videos on there about storing food in 5-gallon buckets. So I just wanted to do this addendum to correct what I had said a little bit earlier. And I thank you for watching. Subscribe and share with your friends. All right, shalom.